Hello, my name is Judith Santmeyer, the Chief Operating Officer here at OKRA, and I'd like to welcome you to our on-demand session entitled Advancing CDA Articulation, Ohio's Model and Case Study. We'll get right started with the introduction of our speakers today. Michelle, would you like to start us off?
Thank you, Judith. My name is Dr. Michelle Arbogast, and I am the Chair of Teacher Education and Human Services at Owens Community College in Toledo.
Hello, my name is Heather Dunsweiler, and I am the Data Manager for the YWCA Childcare Resource and Referral.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kathleen Bryan, and I am the Program Coordinator of the ECE Online Birth to Age 5 program at the University of Cincinnati. 7 years ago, when the summit began, the vision on this slide was shared. The vision for the Higher Ed Summit is a clear educational pathway and seamless transition from entry in the field through baccalaureate degree will be available for early childhood and teach scholars whose goal is to teach and or support the education of children birth to third grade. For many in attendance, it was immediately clear that the CDA credential needed to be part of Ohio's early childhood educational pathway. We learned at a future summit that one of the first elements of a sustainable statewide model is an articulation committee. All institutions of higher ed and any other interested stakeholders were welcomed on the committee. After years of starts and stops, the committee of 18 institutions of higher ed, 4 representatives from the resource and referral agencies, and 2 members from OKRA met in February 2020 for a full workday session. The final result was the following position statement that was introduced at the summit in 2020. Before sharing the position statement, it's important to acknowledge the factors that the committee took into consideration regarding how the CDA credential is currently valued in Ohio. The credential is recognized by Ohio's Step Up to Quality as a Career Pathway Level 3. This qualifies credential holders for lead teaching positions. For many, the CDA credential is an entry point along the ECE educational pathway. The committee agreed that higher education needs to give some credit for this nationally recognized credential in order to create that seamless transition toward a baccalaureate degree. Since there's no statewide authority for the CDA articulation, we have to individually support this position statement at your individual institution. The committee began with restating our goal of statewide consensus for pathways for CDA articulation. The following rationale was agreed upon. Early childhood students in institutions of higher ed and career technical centers can be transient. CTC and college credits need to be easily articulated in order for students to move where they choose while progressing in their completion to degree. The CDA credential is often the building block or best first step for many of these students. And the committee agreed that earning a CDA certificate does have value due to the Council for Professional Recognition's rigor. The challenge, however, was to reach a statewide consensus for the articulation of the CDA credential to college credit hours. At the end of the workday, this was our final proposal. Each institution will determine the credit range for a student holding a valid, not expired CDA certificate from the council. The credit hours awarded would be no less than 3 and no more than 9 semester hours. The following CTAG courses would be the recommended articulated courses: Foundations in Early Childhood Education and Health, Safety, Nutrition. However, it's important to note that articulation would never be allowed for a capstone or practicum course. The agreement of the range of 3 to 9 credit hours allows for flexibility at each institution regarding their current credit and program offerings. While the CDA certification itself is comprehensive, the Articulation Committee had concerns regarding the quality and rigor of the 120 clock hours of a given CDA preparation program. The committee agreed on 3 instances when college credit would be awarded. The first is when the CDA preparation program is taken for college credit as indicated and verified by a college transcript. The second is when the CDA preparation program has Ohio approval. Since the registry has the ability to verify college transcripts and Ohio approved trainings, a copy of a registry profile would be used to demonstrate these first two bullet points. The third instance is when the CDA preparation program has a gold standard distinction and is verified by letterhead and presented to the institution of higher education. Finally, the committee recommends that the Ohio Registry add a designation category to the registry profile to indicate if a CDA preparation program has this gold standard distinction. As always, there's more work to be done. The committee included recommendations to address other elements of effective articulation. First, a crosswalk needs to be completed between CTAG courses and CDA competencies. And second, relationships between the Career and Technical Center teachers and higher ed faculty need to be strengthened to be able to communicate the pros and cons of the current CTC early childhood modules and the CDA preparation programs. Last year at the 6th Annual Summit, we invited a call to action. The rest of this presentation is dedicated to how Owens Community College answered this call. However, the call to action is still here, and the Coalition of 2-year ECE programs would like to collect information about how your institution is handling the CDA articulation and the courses you are giving credit for the CDA. Please email me, Kathleen Bryan at uc.edu, and I will share this information with the coalition. At this time, Heather from the YWCA will begin by explaining the partnership between the YWCA and Owens Community College.
Thank you, Kathleen. The YWCA Child Care Resource and Referral has been offering CDA courses with additional supports since 2014. Owens Community College has historically recognized and given credit for the CDA for students entering their early childhood education program. Almost a year ago, we were contacted by Dr. Michelle Arbogast at Owens to see if there was a possibility in collaborating with Owens Community College to create a pipeline for our CDA students to continue with their higher education in their program at Owens. After some meetings and back and forth discussion on how this would work, we were able to launch this program last month. The CDA students who enroll in the program receive the Teach Scholarship to cover the cost of the 135 training hours, so there is no cost to them to take the training. One-on-one supports include assistance with completion of their portfolios, assistance with the application process, and additional support as needed, such as makeup classes or technology issues. Our CDA courses consist of 135 hours of classes. 120 hours are Ohio approved. The courses are tracked on the Ohio Professional Registry. Topic areas include professionalism, health and safety, child development, social and emotional well-being, screening and assessment, family relationships, running an effective program, and advancing physical and intellectual development. There are 9 courses, 15 hours in each course. The YWCA provides each student with a CDA Competency Standards book, an Essentials book, a set of Early Learning Development Standards, a flash drive, a portfolio binder with divider tabs and instructions, and an organizational bag to store all of the items in. The training program takes 6 months to complete, and upon completion, the YW offers support with those final steps of testing and observation. I will now turn it over to Michelle so she can describe the next steps in the collaboration.
Thank you, Heather. I began as the chair of the Teacher Education and Human Services Department at Owens Community College in January of 2020. After attending the Ohio Early Childhood Education Summit for the first time personally that same year, I was moved by the idea of advancing the CDA movement. I was so moved that I immediately posed the challenge to my faculty for innovative ways that we could approach the CDA program. Boy, did our faculty answer the call. The result was this amazing partnership with the YWCA. This partnership is very special to Owens Community College because we believe that it gives students a unique opportunity to break down barriers that may stand in their way of pursuing their dream of a career in early childhood education. It also brings together the strengths of each of its partners. On this slide, you saw the path that we took to get to the end result, a model of the advancement of CDA to associates. Let's take a closer look at some of the barriers that were broken down through this partnership. First, delivering the CDA classes on the Owens campus for easy access to transportation for students. The Owens shuttle bus makes stops downtown and at several other area locations and stops directly on the campus, providing access to students who may have limited or no transportation of their own. CDA instruction is held on the Owens Toledo campus in the classrooms overseen by campus security. Parking is well lit with access to food and beverages, study areas, and safety assistance should students need to be dropped off ahead of time or wait after class for transportation. The CDA to Associate cohort style program builds strong bonds between students. Moving directly into the associate program following CDA completion allows the group to continue as a cohort as they begin their college program, thereby extending the support system and bonds they created during the CDA program. Isolation can be an issue for students. Being a non-traditional student can sometimes feel isolating or overwhelming. Becoming familiar with your CDA classmates and the Owens campus can help students feel a part of a larger network and an academic community. Instructors and students have access to resources on campus, including the library, printers, iPads, and education classroom supplies such as art supplies, paper, etc. Students with limited or no technology or other resources do not need to worry about the expense to purchase these items. And finally, Special Owens Days provide students with one-on-one assistance with navigating the complex admissions and financial aid processes, thereby reducing the stress that sometimes can overwhelm students trying to apply to a program. We believe that by breaking down the barriers, we are leading our students to success along the early childhood education career path. Now, after successfully breaking down barriers, it was up to us to help build up our students. So how did we accomplish this task? First, we provide support in important academic success areas. English and math support is essential for moving forward in all educational pathways. But also, while students are building their CDA portfolios, Owens provides a support program through Aspire, an adult education program with a focus on basic English and math skills students may be lacking. The curriculum for the Aspire program begins at the high school level and moves to the college level. By starting at the basics, we work to build student confidence in themselves and their abilities before moving on to a more challenging curriculum. Additionally, the Aspire course is not graded, and so students can truly focus on the content and not the grade as they're introduced or reintroduced to a higher education environment. This low-risk approach is also intended to build student confidence. We also kept students in mind when we created the schedule. The students meet on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 8:30 for the CDA program in person. For the Aspire program, students meet 1 day a week on Tuesdays in person and 1 day a week on Thursdays, where they are given online assignments to complete. Rather than having them come to campus 4 days a week, the students only need to come 3 days a week, and the online assignments introduce students to online courses in a supportive environment. Students in the program are required to take the support course, which includes a pre-test and a post-test for English and math. This allows us to measure their progress and also the effectiveness of our Aspire support program curriculum in order to make any adjustments needed for student success. And finally, we want to help our students succeed, so we give them attainable goals when it comes to college placement tests in math and English. General requirements for almost all higher education programs include math and English. Our minimum goal is for the student to place into one of the levels of the developmental math or English so that they can further refine their skills and be ready to move into the college levels of each subject. However, our maximum goal is for the student to place directly into the college level math or English and be able to receive credit towards their degree right away and reduce the time and expense of earning their degree. Now I'll introduce Judith, who will discuss the Teach Empower Ohio scholarships.
Thank you, Michelle. There are 2 workforce development programs in our state that help professionals working in early childhood programs attain their credentials and degrees. One is Teach Early Childhood Ohio. TEACH stands for Teacher Education and Compensation Helps, and the other is Power Ohio. POWER is an acronym for Powering Optimal Wages and Encouraging Retention. Both programs work together to help those professionals attain those educational milestones with little to no debt. When we take a look at the options available to students, especially in the partnership that we've just described, there's a couple models that they utilize. One is the Teach Training Scholarship that occurs for the CDA scholars who are attaining their 120 hours of clock hours. These are available through the R&Rs across the state of Ohio, and we also help support some college credit CDA trainings as well. With the CDA assessment fee, once they are ready to actually apply to the council, they can attain those funds that help them as well. For the assessment fee, they also receive compensation for attaining their CDA, and they need to stay at their early childhood program 6 months for the retention piece. Once they are moving forward into their associate degree program, there's also college credit scholarships that are available. The associate degree scholarship is also a part of that continuum. For Power Ohio, it can also be used with Teach scholarships, and it is paying professionals directly for the milestones that they complete. For CDA, those payments occur at 120 training hours and at CDA attainment. Then they receive 6-month and 12-month retention bonuses for staying at the program that they're working in. For the associate degree path, they receive a payment for each 6 credit hours successfully completed, and then also receive the 6 and 12-month retention payments. So when we're looking at the partnership component, there are multiple aspects and scholarship models that are used and can be accessed for those eligible participants. If you're interested in more information about these opportunities, as well as eligibility for participants in programs, benefits, we ask you to visit our website at www.okra.org/workforce development to be able to see all of those items. Thank you so much for watching our session for CDA articulation. We have our contact information listed here in case you have any questions about the information presented today. Thank you very much.